to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
I have a question for you. In fact, I think we both have a question for you. When you listen to Talking Real Money and when you send in questions that you'd like us to answer, are you looking for help, advice, or just validation? We're not sure which. We think sometimes it's the latter, and we should have a little talk about that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Money. I'm one of the two hosts of this program. My name is Don, and over there is my friend and co-host. His name is Tom. We're two old white guys waiting to die on a podcast. That's us. Hopefully it's not too soon. We want to stick around for a little while. But, you know, it's funny. We really do, and we always have over the many decades we've been doing financial talk now. We've wanted to help make you a better investor, but we get the sneaking notion that sometimes maybe you don't want to be a better investor. You just want us to tell you how great you already are. Could that be possible?
You know, and you mentioned you left out one possibility. I think sometimes people like to argue.
Oh, yeah, that's true. There are truly curmudgeons out there, like sure. The note we got from the guy who said, quit using basis points, or every time you use basis points, say percentage too, because you're talking over people's heads. Come on.
0.25.
Yeah, how many of you, really, come on. How many of you at this point, you've listened to like more than 3 episodes, and you don't know what a basis point is? Okay? What is a basis point? It is 1/100th of 1%.
Right. Yeah.
That's what a basis point is.
Okay. So
now I've taught everyone. Am I done?
You're done.
We can leave now. Off. Thank you. That was the shortest edition of Talking Real Money ever. I've got my bottle of water. I'm going to go drinking.
Yeah, let's take up a couple of recent cases.
Oh, great. My water's almost empty.
This is an interesting topic because so many of you, and thank you, I'm grateful the number of people that reach out with questions. I am. The number of people that call me.
Yeah,
I've
heard you get testy.
Crabby last night. I felt my wife was listening. She said, you weren't very nice. Yeah, she got kind of mad at me. But I do. Sometimes at the end of a 12-hour day, I get tired. I'm old. But I do appreciate the calls. I do appreciate all the people that send in questions. It's fun. I like talking to people. You know that. But there's a couple of them that have come up recently that I do find fascinating. By the way, it's not always just about the investing side, money part in general, because still the number one, can I say discussion?
Argument.
Is around most people around spending. Most of us are in denial about how much money we spend. I'll put it that way. Most, not all. There's people that have been great savers their whole lives and they don't spend anything.
Yeah, I still think people think they're better investors than they are too.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But many, I can't even say enough manys. When we start working on a financial plan for people, we start talking about retirement, most people will tell you, I only spend X.
X thousand, yeah.
That's it. And then you go through their I've said this a lot of times. You just take the top line, right? The income coming in minus the taxes, minus whatever they're saving. You're spending everything else. Then they'll argue with you. That's where the argument starts.
Hold on. You're spending everything else unless at the end of the month or somewhere during the month you look at your balance in your checking account and you go, well, I'm not spending that much, so I'm putting some in savings.
Yeah. Okay, but that would be saving.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not
most of the time you're
spending whatever your net pay is minus whatever you save along the way. That's your spending.
Yeah. Well, taxes. You got to pay your taxes too.
I said
that
net.
comes out of your check. Yeah. Okay, pardon me. Yeah. So that's it. But most people want to get in an argument.
Do you just want an argument? Do you just want an argument with me about whether
I grew up in a family of 6 people, so arguing comes second nature to me. You know that.
Well, you, like I, grew up with 2 brothers.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to. And one of my brothers was
a sister, and I never argued with my sister.
Yeah, I did.
But I argued with my brothers all the time.
One of my brother won the state debate title when he was like a junior in high. So there's a lot of argument in the Cock household.
I bet that was the lawyer.
You're You're such a perceptive person. Not the musician. I know.
Not the
shocking,
musician.
isn't it?
I'm guessing.
You're just such sure. Anyway, spending. Yeah, so that's it. There is no other number, folks. So if you want to call me and say I'm only spending $100,000, but my gross income's $250,000, I'm probably going to have a problem
net
with
income,
that.
Sir. We're going to argue.
Pardon me. I'm
net income.
Probably going to struggle with that, and I'm probably going to tell you you're wrong, and we're going to have to figure out how to fix it. But that's just one part.
And he'll say it because he's getting old in a very testy manner.
I'm trying not to.
His patience is running. That's why we're going to do a new talk show. We're literally going to do a talk show once we put this one away. It'll be like, whenever we feel like it. That'll be called Two White Guys Sitting Around Waiting to Die. That's it. That's the name of the podcast. Don't steal that, by the way. I got to
Somebody will. No, because nobody else that old that's still doing the podcast. They're retired. Okay, so that's one. All right, here's number two. Still, the most difficult thing to shake from people. Run into it all the time. Just ran into it last week. In that case, it was a large technology firm in the Northwest. I think you know who I'm talking about. They write software and stuff and been around for like 40 years?
Yeah.
50 years? Anyway, starts with an M.
50, because it's Apple's 50th. So, yeah.
And by the way, those of you who know me know I have two stock certificates in my office, two actual certificates. One is from Enron. The other one is from Washington Mutual. So I
Did you get the Enron framed?
I have not, but I will. Yeah, I'm going to get them both in a
Sorry, I don't own a frame shop anymore.
I know. It'd be very nice of you. But this is all it's unshakable. When somebody comes in and says, I own this because either A, I work there, B, I know somebody who worked there, or C, it's made me a lot of money. Those are always the answers. Like, well, I worked there. Nothing could go wrong. And it's really hard to shake you. I try, literally and figuratively, because my arm hurts. But and I'm probably not supposed to. The thing is, we can tell you that the problem with an individual company is not just the risk of total loss that I just discussed, is generally a long period of underperformance. Most stocks, gosh, we just did a podcast recently about some very big names that had like a negative 50% return for a whole decade.
Right, that did pathetically. But the other thing that people argue about often on the show and in the in just your conversations is their ability to recognize a better strategy. I've got a better way of doing it. Well, I'm doing covered call writing, or I'm buying dividend-paying stocks, or, it's not just the picking stocks. It's that they think that there's a smarter strategy and that they are the only people who found it.
Yeah, and they defend it. I just, again, off the phones recently with someone who has a high dividend paying strategy. Again, something we discussed on a recent podcast, rather specifically, and the use of the money market. I mean, in other words, and here's how it all works, and here's why it works, et cetera, et cetera. And my take basically, by the way, because in this case, I think the person was looking for an argument. I just said, that's great. Very happy for you. Maybe I didn't say it in those words.
You did not say it that way, or your wife would not have looked askance at you.
No, I did say, why are we talking? I think something like that. I was a little abrupt. Like, the point of this discussion would be, because we believe what we believe, you're probably going to have a very difficult time shaking me from that if you call me.
Yeah.
I believe the same thing for like 35 years.
Tell us that we don't know what we're talking about when we talk about how we don't believe that crypto or gold are good long-term investments that can grow your wealth over time. And we're not going to change that opinion. We haven't changed that opinion in decades now.
The thing is, too, about our investing strategy, something to keep in mind. It's not something Don and I worked up in the basement over a weekend.
No, we just thought it up yesterday.
This comes from, like, peer-reviewed academics. This is work that is being done by people that I think you should pay attention to. They don't have an interest in selling you.
This comes from Nobel Prize winners, plural. Yeah.
They're not trying to sell you anything. They just look at the numbers and say, here's what it looks like. That's it.
These are Jeb Bartletts who never became president, fictionally.
Are you still watching that?
Yeah, he won a Nobel Prize for economics.
Did he really? I guess I forgot that part. I love that show. I wouldn't mind watching that again. But now I'm in the middle of the U.S. Navy on.
I got to tell you, it went down after Sorkin left as the lead writer.
Still
quality went down.
Very good program.
Still very good program.
Yeah,
Yes.
very good program. The point of the matter is, yes, people are stubbornly hold to many things they believe to be correct. They stubbornly hold to what you just said, Don. I developed this strategy and I know it's right. Mm-hmm. Where in the face of all the evidence, which is what I think you should all consider, evidence that is third party, peer reviewed, academic based, people that really I think you should trust, it's just very difficult to shake. So I guess the point of the matter is if you want a review of your portfolio to see where it's good, it's bad, et cetera, that's fine. Happy to do it. If you want to call and have an argument, sure. I love a good argument.
We're all game for arguments. And by the way, we like them even more when they're on the program.
Oh yeah.
You know, we love a good argument.
Send in your notes.
Remember, if you're looking for help, you must believe we're capable of providing it. If you're looking to convince us, that's not what the show's about. Trust me, it ain't going to work.
Yeah.
So I don't know who this next caller you're going to take is, but hopefully they're not going to argue with you. How'd they get to be a caller on the show, Tom? Didn't they just send in a question?
It's pretty simple. You go to Talking Real Money and ask a question, and you type it, and then I get it, and then I call you, and we have a chat. It's very nice, very simple. And so we go to beautiful Texas, where we're chatting with Jim here on Talking Real Money. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for being part of Talking Real Money. And how can we help you today?
Surely. This is an issue that I've heard about a number of times over the years, but I've never really thought anything about it. I've got a new income stream. I mean, I'm almost 70. I'm retired. I think my finances are in pretty good order. But a new income stream that's rather hard to predict from month to month has shown up. And I was toying with the idea of paying off my mortgage. And I've probably got $150,000 to go on that and maybe 15 years under the current amortization schedule. And the first bit of income actually was a fair size amount, about $25,000. And I thought, well, I'll send that into Rocket Mortgage. And looking at their website, it didn't appear that I wasn't really expecting anything to change too much, but it didn't say anything about you're going to have a new payment, which I didn't really expect. And then I got to thinking, well, if all they're going to do is just shorten my amortization schedule, then gosh, wouldn't I be better off to just set that money aside in a high interest savings account, let it earn interest for me rather than for them, and then pay off the mortgage maybe in a couple of years when maybe I have enough to pay off the entire thing? Or should I send in these additional payments, which I've heard recommended from time to time over past years, but again, never really thought too much about it. So the question is, I guess, should I make periodic extra payments, or if I can have the discipline to set it aside and pay it off in full, doesn't that work better for me, sort of on a present value basis?
Yeah.
Or what am I missing?
Yeah, I think your thought process is good. And what's your current interest rate today?
Yeah. So it started out as a 5-year ARM about 10 or 15 years ago. And I've moved out of the initial 5-year holding period, and now it's floated up to about 6 5/8. Okay. Now, I don't know, and I suppose nobody else knows where it'll be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. But at the moment, it's on that borderline, I think, where it sort of makes sense to pay it off. But yeah, so I'll stick it in a high yield savings and maybe earn what, 3 3/4%?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, okay, but let's go back to that. So part one of the interest rate conundrum, I mean, I think we can all pretty well count on the fact that rates are exceedingly unlikely to fall this year. Mm-hmm. After this year, as you said, it's who knows? We don't know where we're headed. It's very, very difficult to portend after that. 6.6%. While it's higher than I like, I mean, usually any interest over 5, I say pay it down quickly because, as you know, in the markets, hard to know if you're going to make that 6 or 7% every year. That sounds easy when stocks are going up, but it really hasn't. But let me ask you another question about this. So, the only thing that would concern me about paying this off, it wouldn't be the mechanics of it, but it would be the liquidity and the rest of your sort of portfolio. So you have income to pay the current mortgage payment, and you have ample savings to take care of you and your family for the next 25 years. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
So
Yes.
under that scenario, then I probably would chunk it down as I got the money. I'd pay down the because you're just going to be making extra principal payments. You could recast the mortgage each time you do it. I guess sometimes there's rules. I mean, that would be something to call your mortgage, your the people that hold the paper, and say, would it make sense to do a recast, or would it make sense to just do a principal pay down? Because what you're really looking for is just to pay less interest here over the next 4 or 5 years. So but yeah, I wouldn't set it aside. I'd make the payment according to whatever the strategy is best to pay that down. If you have the other asset, I mean, the challenge we run into with sort of the pay off the mortgage thing is, it turns out it's a better psychological deal than a financial one for most people, because they don't have the other assets, right? They don't have the money. I've looked at this in my situation. It would be a feel good thing rather than necessarily a good financial decision. So it's like, I think I'd rather stay liquid. We never know what's going to happen. I've seen that happen in my family where people needed money that I never expected. I mean, things come along. So if your liquidity is great, if you have the savings and you're really looking to pay this off, then I would talk to them about doing a recast of the mortgage or adding principal, whatever the best deal is. I would go ahead and do it.
And what does that mean, recast?
I believe is when you give them a chunk, to read, and they redo the note. So I believe when I did mine a few years ago, you make a large lump sum that affects your principal balance, and that they recalculate the payments based on the new lower balance. So it will not reduce the length. It will recast it'll reduce the interest certainly, but it would also reduce that payment. I mean, what you're really trying to do here is sort of pay off interest, right? Because that's going to be something you don't want to have that interest because it's kind of high, right? I mean, it's not high compared to my first note, which back in 1984 was, like 15 or something, but it is high, when we look at COVID where everybody's at 2.5. So I can see the displeasure with that. So yeah, I think but I would ask them. I would say, would it be better to recast this if I'm getting 25 to 50 a month, or should I just make a couple extra principal payments? What's going to be the best for my situation?
Okay. All right. Then I'll make that call and ask them. Yeah. Because that payment has drifted up probably $300 or $400 over the past 5 years. I should. Hindsight says I should have refinanced. Back at the trough. But I thought I was going to move at that point, and then we decided no, we're not going to move. So okay, fine.
I mean, it's really hard. I mean, in my household, I think my wife would prefer to have it paid off. As the money guy, I look at it and think, nah, that doesn't really make sense from a financial standpoint. But I get all that. And in your case, since you have the assets to take care of you and your family, then I would just say write the check.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you listening, Jim. Hope to hear from you again soon.
Okay.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Well, that one wasn't too argumentative. No. That was okay. That was good.
Very kind.
Now, the part I like about this next segment of the program is the fact that printed paper, argues badly. They really don't debate well. They will never win a debate competition because paper can't speak unless Tom speaks its part for it. Like, apparently, he enjoys doing. He does no character work with these, though.
I could.
You should do a voice for each one of them.
That's
no, stop it. I'm sorry.
Bad idea. What a bad actor
why that came out of my mouth.
I'm the worst. I do myself, and that's about it. From Galena, Ohio, Gary writes.
From Galena, Ohio.
Don't know the place. Hi, Tom and Don. I have a long-term incentive package that starts vesting next summer. The payoff looks incredible. Approximately 1 year of household expenses after taxes, thanks to our company stock appreciation jumping the last few years. I'm preparing to cash out the vested portion and have them withhold the estimated taxes, but I've been getting multiple emails from wealth managers prepared to help me navigate this process. Is there anything they might actually help, or are they just looking to take a percentage of telling me to reinvest with the firm? A colleague told me he signed up and received help, but couldn't explain what the help consisted of. I'm a do-it-yourself investor, but I'm second-guessing the situation, wondering if there's some strategy they have to offer that would be beneficial. So in his subject line, I love this, sharks circling my RSUs. Is there any reason to hire a financial advisor when you're getting
Well, they're not going to do anything
units?
special for the distribution.
No, there's no
tax strategy or trick you can pull that's legal anyway.
Well, that's true.
That's likely to help you. Now, of course, what they're going to do is suggest you 90+% of the time. The people who are trying to contact you, okay, let's go to 99. I think we can go to 99 if they're actually contacting you, because fee-only fiduciaries rarely pick up the phone and make cold calls.
No, not many.
Or swoop
Fisher
in.
only.
They just don't do it very often because they're in the minority in the investment advice business, and therefore they tend to be kind of busy.
Yeah.
But what you're probably talking about is a bunch of commissioned salespeople. I'd be willing to bet a lot of them are commissioned annuity salespeople who are going to try to sell you an annuity to put your cash in so that you can get tax advantages going forward and a nice income for the rest of your life. And they'll give you a 50% bonus and bloody, all garbage.
Yeah, there's a couple things to keep in mind, though. I would say one thing to be sure of is make sure you've held the shares at least a year so you get the long-term capital gains rate. That would be one before it's...
It sounds like he has, because he says he's vested in
Number
them.
two is...
Vesting is usually a multi-year process.
Number two would be, frankly, and you may already know this, Gary, I would want to reinvest in a diversified portfolio that has thousands of stocks in it.
Which, if you're a decent do-it-yourselfer and you listen to us, you probably can pull off.
Sounds like it. I mean, there's also people that believe when you do the RSUs, you could do an 80-20 strategy, keep 80% out in a diversified portfolio, hold the 20% in your company because it's going to go to the ceiling. Don't buy that one.
Not a big fan of keeping money that you don't have to keep in your company your company.
So, no, there's no trick. There's nothing they have that they can do for you that would be.
No magic. It is all about them looking at that big number that they read about in the paper or something.
Look at you.
And salivating over a
lot of money,
big honking commission. We just had recently a call from a listener who went to one of those steak dinners.
Oh, I heard it. You handled it well. He handled it well.
And the salesman actually admitted 10% commission. Admitted it. They rarely admit that.
They somehow managed to say, "Don't forget your dessert." But
push came to shove, and 10%.
I like what you said. Hope you had a nice dessert too. That was really good. Yeah. Good work.
Well, because he did a great service to humanity.
Yeah, he did.
That was on a couple of weeks ago, the Friday Q&A
Great
show.
program. From
You got another question?
Lauderdale, of course. Fort Lauderdale, James writes, "Hi, Tom and Don, love your podcast. It's my favorite money podcast and tied for tops overall." I got to ask, who are we tied with, though?
I wonder with whom.
A little nerve-wracking there.
Maybe it's lit reading.
I can remember a girl in ninth grade telling me that once. You're tied for first place overall. Anyway, didn't work out. I listened to your most recent episode, which was the retirement quiz, and it reminded me that I wanted to ask you a question concerning a recent episode where a question regarded why employer contributions are not allowed in the Roth portions of 401ks, which, as you may remember, I said, no, you can't take the match.
Nope, you can't take it as a Roth because of the federal government.
No, but he said, I understand it's been allowed since Secure 2.0 of 2022. Employees have to pay the tax on those contributions the year they are made. My employer still doesn't have the option. He is absolutely 110% correct.
Oh, it's a legal thing.
But most companies do not offer it as yet. But he's right. I looked it up because I thought, we said it and we said it. Damn it, we stand by it.
Look at that.
But we were wrong. So, James, you're absolutely correct.
So legally, it's okay.
I don't know anybody who's doing it.
Your company has to offer you the ability to pay those taxes somehow and put it in a Roth.
So that's an interesting question. Would you do that?
No.
You wouldn't do it?
Probably not.
You'd still...
Probably not. Not while I'm working. Generally, I want to speak in broad generalizations. While I am still working, I probably... making more money on a taxable basis than I will be in retirement. Probably. This is a big, broad brush I'm painting with.
Yeah, and you've got the add-on of Irma facing you as well.
Yeah. So I think I would probably
still take
just
the
let it go.
Tax money.
I like having both pots too. It's just sort of because again we're guessing. We're always guessing when it comes to the future. Always. We're trying to make educated guesses, but they're not that educated. We don't know what tax rules will be in the future. So we don't know. Could taxes be lower? Yeah. I bet people in the 60s said, oh, taxes aren't going to go any lower in the future. They're only going to go up. Well, they went down.
A lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot different than the 60s. So, but thank you for setting us straight on that. I do appreciate it. By the way, if you have an employer-sponsored plan and you do have a Roth match, let me know. I'd be curious to hear about it because I've never heard of anyone having it as yet. I'd just be curious to see if anybody's actually doing it. I'm going to ask our guys, but it's not on the agenda as far as I know. So
I don't think it's that big a deal.
Well,
he whispered.
He thought it was a big deal because we were wrong, and I'm happy to acknowledge when I make a mistake. Except when I'm reffing. Then I won't acknowledge it. Sorry, it's never let them see you squeal.
No, you never let them see you sweat on the.
That's not true. I've told people on the field before that I missed it. So
you have?
Yes.
No, don't do it on the field. Do it after or something.
Yes, I have told them. Yeah. Sorry, I missed that one.
I'll
do better on the next
forward.
one. Sorry. Try to be honest.
Tom the ref. Anyway, hey, thanks everybody for listening again. And keep telling people. Keep spreading the word. Okay? We appreciate it when you do that. If you have some questions, go to Talking Real Money, click on the contact form or the Ask a Question button, and argue with us. We don't care.
I want some. Yeah, let's get a little back and forth, huh? Face the nation sort of stuff or something, huh?
Point counterpoint.
What was the food fight they used to have on PBS? I forget the name of that one. Wrong.
Food fight?
Yeah, the back and forth between the libs and the conservatives. I forget the name.
That was point counterpoint. That was on CNN.
A different one with John.
Oh, you're talking about McLaughlin.
The McLaughlin Report. I love that one.
God,
yeah.
That
was fun. That's just plain good time.
Yeah, wrong dog breath. Shut up.
Good argument.
Anyway.
Very effective. Pick on your dog? Come on.
Shut up, you big dummy. Anyway, do all those things if you and by the way, if you want you got like an RSU and you want somebody to say, well, this is how you should invest it on your own, we'll even do that.
Restricted stock unit for those of you playing along at home. So
yeah, we'll tell you, here's what you might want to do, maybe.
Yeah. Here to help.
With a free consultation.
Absolutely.
Free consultation.
Oh,
Sounds like a pitch,
and then we're going to
doesn't
sell
it?
you a big fat annuity, and I'm making 10%, man.
Whew, damn, we should have been doing that from the very
still
beginning,
could.
Tom.
It's not over.
Yes, it's over. No one's going to buy an annuity from us.
We might be able to sell a lot of them. So.
Too old. So anyway, if you want to meet with one of our advisors for free for nothing with no high-pressure sales pitch, go to TalkingRealMoney.com, click on Meet an Advisor. And is there anything else you'd like to add before we shuffle off this mortal coil?
So
well,
close.
We're not shuffling off the mortal coil, just the podcast coil. Thanks for listening. I'm Don, that's Tom, and together we're always talking real money.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions. Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy. Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appella Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services. Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. And the lawyers get richer.